Good morning or afternoon or evening, depending on what time you're watching this. It is morning for me. It's about 8:30. I just finished a fence quote. I'm driving back to a fence job that I'm currently working on, and thought I would take the opportunity. I've got an hour drive, so thought I'd take the opportunity to record a video real quick talking about the three biggest struggles for me in operating a fence business as a one-man show. Okay, so this is my second try at recording this video. I tend to talk a lot and go into a lot of detail on stuff I don't need to, and next thing I know my video is like 30 minutes long. So I'm gonna try to keep this to around 10 minutes and go through these three things real quick and explain my issues with them, and hope that somebody else can take something from it. So get right into it. The three main issues I have running a fence business as a solo operation, all by myself, doing everything myself. One is marketing, advertising, and such. That includes sales. I'm not going to lump sales in with it. Just the marketing, advertising, getting my name in front of people, getting a good flow of leads coming into the business. That is number one biggest struggle for me right now. Another one is time management. So as a solo business owner, operator, everything on your own, you have a lot of responsibility, a lot of things you need to do, and there's only so much time to do it all. So time management's a big one. And the third one is going to be, it's not a huge issue in this moment, but it's going to become more of an issue as I continue to get more and more work and more lead generation, lead flow, and stuff like that. And that's going to be just my low ceiling operating as a one-man operation. Everything is kind of bottlenecked through me. You know, if it doesn't go through me, it doesn't happen in this business. So that's my number three issue that I'm going to run into with this. So I'll get into just a little detail on each one of those without trying to drag this out for 30 minutes again. I'm already at 2.5 minutes. So number one, lead flow, lead generation, marketing, advertising, however you want to label this. Getting my name out in front of people, getting people to call me and want me to come quote their fences for them. This is my biggest struggle right now. I am not any sort of expert on marketing, advertising, anything like that. Everything I know about it, I've just learned on the go from doing it, messing up, and trying again. So I have done a few things in the past. I originally started with like Angie Leads, Thumbtack, those lead generation services. I hated those. They're expensive, and the quality of leads you get from them are not that great, in my opinion. Maybe other people have better experience, but in my opinion, I did not like them. I've done Google ads. I did that in Tennessee when I operated in Tennessee, and it worked really well, I think. I'm doing it now here, or I have done it now here, and I've got terrible results from it. So, and I think both times I've set it up the same way, so I don't know what's different, if it's just a market thing or what, but it has not worked at all here. The third advertising or lead generation thing I do is Facebook ads. I run a lot of Facebook ads, and I've had a lot of luck with that. It's much, much cheaper. It's been the cheapest lead generation thing I've tried to this point. The leads are not always that good of quality, but it's so cheap and you get so many of them through it that you get a few that you can close on. So I've gotten essentially all of my work here through Facebook ads, and then referrals from those Facebook ads. So I've had pretty good luck with that. So that is my marketing and advertising as of right now. Now, obviously, every single job I do, I am doing everything I can to provide an incredible finished product for the people I work for. I fully, wholeheartedly, 100% believe in operating with integrity and providing the absolute best product for someone that I can, regardless of how much they pay, you know, however much I got to discount a job to get them to book it. So that is long term. That is the biggest thing I'm going to focus on, is providing incredibly high quality work for people, being extremely friendly, likable, actually caring about what I'm doing and what they need, and getting reviews and getting referrals from these people. That is my long-term focus, is just organically becoming a name in the community that people know for quality and trust and know they're going to get a good product from, and that word just spreading, word of mouth going like crazy. So that's my long-term play. But short-term, I'm currently not in the long-term right now. I'm in the short-term. In the short-term, I've got to run ads and find people, and I've got to convince them that I'm good without them knowing anything about me. So that is my number one biggest struggle, trying to figure that out, working through it as we go. Right now, most luck I'm having is through Facebook ads. So doing that. Number 2, time management. Operating a business, especially as a one-man show, but even if you're not operating a business, you are always working or thinking about something. You know, there's always something you need to do. I don't just build fences. I build fences. I quote fences. I sell fences. I market fences. I plan and coordinate material with customers and everything else. I plan and coordinate guys to haul off old stuff. I do bookkeeping. I do invoicing. I do everything from bottom to top in this business. It is just me. I don't outsource anything to anybody, not yet, because I don't have capital to do that. You know, I'm bleeding the business dry just paying my bills right now, and so time management becomes an issue here because I have so many different things to do. Trying to actually find the time to do them and do them well becomes quite hard at the time. On top of that, I've got a family, 3 kids and a wife that absolutely need my time as well. So trying to find a good balance there, not work myself to death, not neglect my kids or my wife while building this thing, but also working enough to consistently put food on the table and keep us living in a house and not a box, is a pretty big struggle. I get to feeling quite guilty sometimes when I have to work late or work on a weekend or something, which is often, and I feel very guilty, like I'm not spending the time with my kids that I need to be. That I don't know how many times they've asked me to come play, and I can't do it. I've got to get these quotes sent out because I got to leave early the next morning to go work on a job, and it gets difficult. So that's my number 2 issue right there, is just being able to manage my time, get things done quickly and efficiently, finding processes and building processes to make things quicker, like quoting. You know, I've built out a real detailed spreadsheet where I can quote stuff really fast. So just finding ways to get through my work quickly and efficiently without compromising quality is an ongoing process of figuring that out, because I really do not want to rob my family of my time. I know there's going to be days, there's going to be weeks where my time is limited with them. I try to tell myself that's a sacrifice worth making for the long term, but I've also got to prioritize my time with them over work sometimes, and finding a good balance there is another big struggle that I know a lot of people deal with, not just me, but it's especially relevant in my situation. You know, just scraping to get by and doing everything yourself as one-man operation. It's tough. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, is a bottleneck on growth and as far as what I can do income-wise, how many jobs I can take on and whatnot. That it is somewhat of a problem now. That's going to become more of a problem later as I get more established and start getting a lot more leads coming through. But I think I have a solution for that. So basically, when I get more established and I've got a good lead flow, a lot of leads coming through, I'm quoting a lot of jobs, I'm closing on whatever percentage of those jobs, and I've got work booked out all the time. That's going to be a good problem when I get there, but it'll come with some other problems that I'm going to have to solve, and trying to do as many jobs as possible, I don't think is going to be the answer for me. So there's one of two different ways I'm going to go about this, and I don't know yet which way I'm going to choose. It's going to depend on some things, but one way is I stay a one-man operation. I keep this simple, and I just keep this as something that I do by myself without hiring and growing, turning this into an actual business, organization, whatever you want to call it, with employees. If I do that, when I get to that point where I have all of this stuff coming through, I'm gonna get to be a lot more picky with the work that I actually take on. With leads coming in, I'll find some sort of process to pre-qualify these leads, so I'm not going out physically to every single house of every single person that calls me and quoting a job, even when they aren't willing to spend even half of what it's actually going to cost to put up the fence they want. So I'm going to figure out a way to pre-qualify these leads, and then once I do that, I'm actually quoting the jobs that I have a decent chance of booking. I'm also going to be picky on which of those jobs I'm taking, the ones that I get the most value for my time, or I won't necessarily always base it wholly off of how much money I can make on it. I might base a lot of them off of the customer's needs. If it's an elderly lady that just needs some help, I might be able to prioritize those jobs, versus just stuff that's a pain to do. The customers are asking for discounts, they're hard to work with. I'll be able to forget about those types of jobs a little more often. I'll have the luxury of being able to pick the jobs that make the most sense for me, going through that, and I can manage my workflow, like how much work I'm actually taking on. I can book out further, but keep the jobs spread apart enough to where I'm making the money I want to make, but not overbooking and making myself crazy busy in the process. So that's just kind of quickly touching on the three biggest issues with what I'm doing. Marketing, advertising, getting a good lead flow going. That is my number one issue right now, the one I'm dealing with, trying to solve, figuring out I'm not there yet. I would be happy to take any advice from anybody who can help me along that path. I think maybe this YouTube thing, maybe in the long term, could help that if I get enough of an audience on here and build enough of a reputation as a fence builder on here, and there's enough people watching this from my market, maybe it could help me in the branding area and get more lead flow that way. That's nowhere near a thing right now. I'm kind of focused on the short term as far as just getting leads to pay the bills right now, and that's my absolute number one issue. I think I do a decent job on my time management and not neglecting my family all the time, so I'm going to continue to get better on that. And then that third issue, as far as just having more work than I can handle, being bottlenecked, that's an issue I'm looking forward to having in the future. So that is where I'm at with all this. If anybody wants me to go into more detail on any of these things or any other aspect of the business, let me know. I'm trying to make regular once, 2-3 times a week videos on this stuff, just detailing my issues, what I'm doing to overcome them. So let me know what you want to see. I'll do it. You know, need plenty of ideas to keep this channel going. And I would really appreciate if people subscribed and watch this, because that's motivating. It encourages me to keep going. And I haven't gotten many, but I've gotten a few comments on a couple of my videos of people just being very kind and encouraging me, and it gives me confidence in what I'm gonna be able to do in the future with this. So yeah, that's what I've got on this. I appreciate you watching. If you watch this, if you got bored and clicked off, obviously you won't hear this, but I don't blame you for that either. Please do subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more of this stuff I'm gonna put out, the more effort I'll be able to put into it, and keep this thing going, keep growing this fence business, take y'all along for the ride. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be hard, but it's gonna be fun. But anyways, that's all I've got. I appreciate it. Have a good one.